Welcome to the Houston Huddle, where knowledge meets the good.
Welcome to the Houston Huddle.
From the gridiron to the airwaves, it's time for the Martin Houston Show with Martin, Xavier, and Simeon. Martin is a national championship fullback from the 1992 Alabama Crimson Tide, known for his bruising runs and devastating blocks. Now he's bulldozing through sports talk with that same championship intensity. Joining him is his son, Xavier, a savant of football knowledge and statistical insight. He's your go-to source for the latest recruiting news and insider updates from across the Bama Nation. And Simeon, the thinker and contemplator, bringing you insight and knowledge that is logical, thoughtful, and on point. Together, they deliver fair and balanced analysis from an insider's perspective, with real conversations where the callers, the listeners, and the online maniacs get in on the action by sharing their thoughts, their comment, and their reaction. Join our online maniacs at facebook.com/The Martin Houston Show. You're listening to Tide 100.9 and 1230 WTBC. It's time for kickoff, so buckle up and get ready, because this is the sound of Bama sports. The Martin Houston Show with Martin, Xavier, and Simeon is live. Roll, Tide, roll!
Roll, Tide, roll. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Glad to have you up and Adam with us on this beautiful, it's not just a beautiful, guys, Friday. It's a good Friday. We're glad to have you all out there with them. We apologize for a little technical difficulty there this morning getting on the airwaves. To those of you who are joining us via the radio airwaves, we say welcome in. Give us a call at 205-342-9904, 205-342-9904. That is the hotline. Of course, the maniacs who join us on the hotline, join us on the hotline and on the live stream. We welcome you in this morning as well. We say it's a good Friday. I may end the show with a little special E.V. Hill dedication. Y'all don't know who E.V. Hill is. You may have to stay tuned. But let me tell you, it's Friday. Simeon, Xavier, Sunday's coming. That's all you need to know. It's Friday, but Sunday's coming. Sometimes the enemy think he's won. Sometimes in our life, the enemy think he's won. But Sunday is coming. If you're in a Friday season, Saturday, silence, know that Sunday is a celebration and it's on its way. So stick in there. Remember that this is the day that the Lord has made, so let's rejoice and be glad in it. Take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
All right, what you got?
Sam?
Well, yeah, let's continue the conversation from yesterday. I know we ended it off on kind of a cliffhanger because we didn't have that much time, but Coach DeVore did a real exclusive sit-down interview yesterday, or I guess the day before yesterday, and he was talking about how he got there's some players that got better. Alabama got a lot better for less money. So, Dad, you were saying it depends on, who are we talking about? Are we talking about offensive line, defensive line? linebacker position. Who knows?
Yeah.
Hey, so yeah, I mean, when you look across the board, it can be a wide range of where did Bama get better. We talked a lot about the defensive line yesterday, and we felt like you're you're looking at Devin Tompkins replacing James Smith. Do you think Bama is better there? People would say yes.
Yep.
You're looking at Terrence Green, TK, to Tim Keenan. You would agree that might be an upgrade, but we've
Okay.
covered that
Hold on,
group.
hold on,
That
hold on. Let's not run through all of them. Let's break it down why one's better than the other one. I mean, you can say that, but why is it an improvement when you look at James Smith? Uh, let's spend a little
I
time
think.
breaking down
Okay.
why one is better. If we do, we even think it's better. And the part that I have to throw in there is you have to. I wrote an article and I'm going to have it up at the on the Martin Houston Show in the Houston Huddle on all our accounts. Uh, but I raised the question: what did he mean by better? So, guys, break it down that way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think if
Go
we
ahead, Ed.
start at the if we start across the D line, um, I think you talk about Devin Tompkins, James Smith. Well, you get longer while keeping the size, and the longer it is twofold with the way you're able to engage and get offensive linemen off of you, as well as being able to reach out, close a gap because of arm length and things of that nature. So I think that's a little bit over. And the athleticism. I think Devin Tompkins is a little bit more athletic than James Smith is. That's just my thoughts on it, Seth.
Yeah, no. Devin Tompkins, if I'm not mistaken, was a former basketball player that didn't stop gaining weight. Um, and so being having that basketball background, most basketball players you would think are a little bit more agile than just solely football players. So I think that caters into being one, just a little bit more athletic. But also, James Smith is what was 6'2", 6'3". Devin Tompkins 6'5", 300 pounds. So that gives you a totally different lineup and size wise, but along with Terrence Green with Tim Keenan, that size difference is not even close to even being comparable. Terrence Green wins out in every aspect. But like Dad said, the part of his article, don't want to get too deep into it, but better doesn't always just mean the physical. Physical better could be leadership wise, could be mentality and how they gel
Locker
as a
room
team
presence.
and
It,
all
it's
that
just,
stuff.
yeah. Look, if you just look at talent, did the most talented team win the national championship this year?
No.
No, the oldest team did.
It wasn't just old. I mean, they were older, but they're,
The
they're,
most
they're,
physically mature.
they were the most physically mature. They were the best team in college football. They had the best chemistry. They had the best brother. They knew the system. They trusted each other. So when he said talent, was DeBoer talking about more than just you know
The
he
physical.
said better, was he definitely digging much deeper than talent, and I think he was. I think he's talking about character. I think he's talking about coachability. I think there's a lot of different things, and like I said, I broke that down in an article that I need. You guys will be able to go check out on the social media side. But thing I would add to James Smith is I don't think we just got bigger, guys. I think we got took leaps and bounds in athleticism. Like like
I agree.
huh?
I agree with you.
Like
100%.
lengthwise. your nose tackle, one of your nose tackles is now
5
going to
inches
be
taller.
5 inches taller than the previous nose tackle. Your one of your D tackles is going to be um, at
2 to 3 inches
least
taller.
3 to 4 inches taller. You bring Billingsley in. I think that's how you say his name. Billings. He had
Bingley
like three
Jones.
names, I think. Uh, Billingsley Jones. Bensley Jones. Uh, he um, he's he's you know he's bigger than he's taller than everybody you had on the defensive line last year, right? You only had a couple guys that were 6'4", uh,
I
like
think he was taller than the main guys that played at the time.
yeah, and so every guy he's as big as or bigger than everybody that played last year.
Yeah.
You know, uh, this year your small guys, Steve Bolo, I think he's kind of I called him Hulk number two. I just think they got bigger and more athletic in in that D line, which allows you to do more what stuff,
Yeah. More
Yeah.
right?
schemes. Mix it up.
Yeah, like not just I'm not talking. I'm not even talking about moving guys around. Remember, DeVore said that about the same front, the base front. But in your
Hmm.
Yeah.
base front, Indiana didn't have a lot of different guys, but they were never their landing points were always what different.
Different.
Go back and look at how many times they have three guys on one side of the ball. Why? Because they could get that guy that was lined up on the center. He was athletic enough to cause you chaos by getting back to the backside. And it made you as a offensive lineman think nobody's in front. Go back and watch the Alabama game. Go watch Indiana. The lineman would be looking this way, and the guy that they were supposed to block because he was athletic enough.
Or they just looked like they weren't even in the same, like firing off the ball. Indiana would take 2 steps before, some of our offensive linemen would even get one good step. And that you're going to get beat across your face every single time as an offensive lineman if you can't even fire off the ball and they're so much more athletic than you. But that also goes to being more athletic than. I feel like this year's offensive line is much more athletic. We got
Alabama's.
Alabama's offensive line. No offense to Caden Proctor, but Xavier, we know how you feel about Caden Proctor. Jackson Lloyd, Caden Proctor, Nick Brooks is more athletic than Cam Dewberry or whoever that left guard is. William Sanders is more athletic. Rayson Delgatti and Parker Brosford. Would you say that might be a wash? Parker might be a little bit more athletic than him, but it's pretty close. And
But
then
Grayson's bigger.
bigger.
So you get more physicality there.
Yeah. And then right guard, Michael Carroll, looking for me, of course. He's more athletic than
Michael's more
looking.
athletic.
And then right tackle, Javen James is a better overall fit than
And right tackle than Michael Carroll.
Exactly. So this year's offensive line, in my opinion, is going to be so much more athletic than it was last year.
Yeah, I think our fronts are at another level on both sides of the ball, and I think we're gonna be delighted with what we see from those guys and watching them kind of take that next step in this system. I think you'll start to see more of what Coach DeBoer wants to run offensively and what Coach Womack wants to run defensively. But we're going to go ahead and get to break, and when we come back on the other side, we're going to continue this conversation and more. This is the Martin Houston Show with Martin, Xavier, and Simeon. It is a free-for-all Friday.
Tide 100.9 traffic. Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. A very good morning to you on this Good Friday. We are moving along a little on the slower side, actually, on Lurleen Wallace, southbound at 5th Street. We do have an accident involving an overturned vehicle, and this blocks your right lane there. Otherwise, traffic in the area, it's pretty quiet for the most part elsewhere. We got 15th Street, not bad at all in between Lurleen Wallace and McFarland. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, Tammy Thomas.
This report is sponsored by Think It Up. Think It Up is an initiative to activate student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classrooms today? Join at thinkitup.org.
Where they do that at? If you're looking for the ultimate experience in electronic bingo, head to Bama Entertainment. We've expanded at our location, now with 2 buildings, not just one. Come for our mystery wall cash drawing Monday through Thursday, every 30 minutes. On the weekend, live entertainment or DJ. Ticket drawing for the jackpot wheel spins and cash giveaway. Don't forget about our double jackpot payout up to $5,000. Great atmosphere, outstanding customer service. Where they do that at? Bama Entertainment, where the odds are always in your favor. Take exit 45 off 2059, sponsored by Ray.
Got timberland in West Alabama or East Mississippi? North River Timber Company has you covered. Since 2011, Courtney White, a registered forester, along with his expert team, have been managing timberland and harvesting timber across 4 West Alabama counties. They offer comprehensive timber management plans, reforestation services, and appraisals. Courtney White says timber is like money in the bank. Don't let your investment go unrealized. Call North River Timber Company today. Email them at northrivertimberco@gmail.com or call 205-242-5127.
What does it mean to advertise and do your marketing with Town Square Media Tuscaloosa? Melissa started her business in 2014. What would you say to someone considering Town Square Media Tuscaloosa?
My experience with Town Square Media has been awesome, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone. I think that this is the first time in my marketing experience that I've been able to see my return on investment. I would definitely say in the past that has not been the case. In this, I like knowing that that's 100%. A lot of the marketing we've done has been radio. You guys have so much more to offer than that, whether it's, websites from targeted marketing to radio. You are kind of a one-stop shop, and it makes doing marketing so much easier. So I would definitely recommend it.
For more info on marketing with Town Square Media Tuscaloosa, call 205-345-7200 or click on Advertise with Us on our website.
Hey, I'm Martin Houston, and I want to tell you about exciting news happening at Box Eye Care. They've moved to their new location, bringing you a brand new lab, stylish new frames, and a fresh look just for you. Enjoy their expanded frame inventory, competitive prices, and faster service, all with the same great level of service you've come to know and trust. Discover this full-service eye care at Box Eye Care's new location. With their in-house lab, they offer unbeatable value and one of the largest frame collections in town. Schedule your eye exam today and walk out with new glasses in less than an hour in most cases. Visit boxeyecare.com. That's boxeyecare.com or call 205-342-0660. That's 205-342-0660. Visit them at 5003 Oscar Baxter Drive. That's Box Eye Care. Your vision, our priority.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Partly sunny and warm today. A small chance of a shower this afternoon or this evening. The high today 84. Tonight's low 63. Warm again tomorrow, a mixture of clouds and sunshine, the chance of isolated afternoon showers, the high 85. I'm James Spann with the Alabama Weather Network on Tide 100.9. It's 67 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Keep it locked into Tide 100.9 for more of the Martin Houston Show with Martin Houston and X's and O's Sports, Xavier Houston.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier and Simeon. If you're just now joining us on this Good Friday, free-for-all Friday, we welcome you into the program. We're talking about Kalen DeBoer's statement, man. I mean, did he really mean better from a talent standpoint? Or did he mean better from a talent standpoint, a coachability standpoint, enthusiasm, excitement? And in some ways, did we get more experienced? You know, did we get better? I mean, that's the question. Um, team sports are so much about chemistry. Like you look back, there very seldom do the most talented team win. I think if you know, even with Coach Saban's, I would say two of Coach Saban's most talented teams, guys, was a 2010 team.
Yep.
That lost the most games in Saban's tenure after he got it rolling. They had what, 3 losses
Mm-hmm.
in the regular season, right? So let that sink in. That many people believe that you could argue that may be his most talented team. Then the other team that was super uber talented, especially from a defensive side, was the team that lost to Clemson.
Which time?
The
16 or
1 point,
18?
the 1 point defensively.
16.
16 defensively. There's no question. The other one was a Tua offensive led team that got smoked, but was one of the most talented offensive teams and got smoked. So football is so much more than talent. And is DeBoer potentially sitting back? P. Fields said, "I know he has a calm demeanor, but DeBoer seems much more relaxed and open, talking to the press. Good sign that he likes what he is seeing, guys."
I agree with that. I've noticed that he definitely has a different type of demeanor. He does look a lot more calmed and relaxed. And so that's either him just being more comfortable in his own skin at Alabama, like, it takes a little while to get adjusted. But also, he finally, it feels like, at least from the outside looking in, that he has the right players, that he has his players. There is no, this is his system, his team. And so you're a lot more comfortable with the players that you have if you're more confident in
Xavier,
their ability.
yeah, Xavier Tim Coggins said talent looks better, but I think he was more addressing character and value in most situations. Former players or guys who went in the portal, because this was not about the guys graduating. This was the portal transition. Former players asking too much for what they produce.
Oh, I definitely think it was more portal than it was the guys graduating. The guys that graduated, left for the draft. A lot of those were the glue guys, the high character guys that you had on this team that were uh, holdovers from when Saban was here.
Yeah.
But you had a lot of guys that the pockets were deeper than their performance. Once again, go back to what Haha said. Check the production. And the production didn't match up a lot of times to what the rumors are of what they wanted to be paid and things of that nature. That's why I think he also made the comment of, hey, we didn't overpay for guys, but we've got really good players. And so look at the positions that left. Look at the guys that went other places and who we brought in those positions. I think that says a lot about how he feels moving forward. As Simeon said, this is year 3. This is his team. Because of the transfer portal, because of the guys leaving when they want to, you see this being Coach DeBoer's team with the guys that he wants.
There's 6 guys on this roster from Nick Saban coached teams. Guys did, because there's 2 things. There's portal guys, and then there's guys who graduated. When you're talking strictly from a portal standpoint, how many of those guys were guys that DeBoer recruited and signed, that left?
It's not a lot.
Yeah, not many.
So was Saban's recruiting slipping?
I mean, yeah.
I mean, nobody's having that conversation, but
yeah, it was like, and I know that's not what you want to hear, but like it was.
Think of Keon Keeley was a Saban guy, right?
Yep. James Smith, Quay Russo. Simeon not gonna like this. Wilkin Formby.
Caden Proctor.
Caden Proctor, Wilkin Formby. Yeah, I mean,
these were Saban guys.
Well,
and we all and all of us have a certain feel or about some of these guys one way or another that they didn't live up to the hype and the expectation.
Or was it a development thing? Did the board not develop them? I set y'all up again.
No, I mean, I think it's twofold. I think you had guys that weren't properly developed. I also think you had guys that played up under Saban that wanted to keep doing things the way he wanted it done and carried that attitude because it always happens. And those guys are no longer here. You could tell the guys that were still here from Saban that bought in versus the guys that there seemed to be a rift.
Yeah. So yeah. Interesting. I just threw that out there. That may be an article waiting to be written as well. When you start looking at this portal, Q Dixon said Indiana was the best coach team in college football last year by a mile. I guess I asked you both quickly to respond, but why were they the best coach team? Was it just coaching, or was it the fact that they had all been in the same system and they were executing well?
And they were older than Simeon.
I mean,
that plays a factor.
It's a factor if you're coachable, if you're bought in, if the culture's right. So but my point is, what do we say about practice? It's the reps, right?
Yeah.
So if these coaches are getting better reps, we talked about how Keon Sabb is one of our oldest players, but he missed 5 sacks last year.
Yeah.
So if he misses 5 sacks this year, so it's not. Were they the best coach team? Partly because they just been in the system, or is the dude up there a pretty good coach? We'll figure it out. We'll find out. And now he's going to have to bring in a whole bunch of new guys. We'll figure it out. So anyway, we got several other
already chastised one guy. You heard about the gold cleats?
He said we don't do that here.
No, I hadn't heard about the gold cleats. We'll say that for another day, because we do need to get to a couple other comments, and we need to get to, there's a scrimmage today. What are you looking for out of that scrimmage? We'll be back on the other side.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. A very good morning to you on this Good Friday. We are moving along a little on the slower side, actually, on Lurleen Wallace, southbound at 5th Street. We do have an accident involving an overturned vehicle, and this blocks your right lane there. Otherwise, traffic in the area, it's pretty quiet for the most part elsewhere. We got 15th Street, not bad at all, in between Lurleen Wallace and McFarland. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, Tammy Thomas.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-319-3687. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-319-3687. 800-319-3687. 800-319-3687.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at radiodirect.com/privacy. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out. Consult a doctor prior to use.
Wow, you look amazing. What have you been doing?
I'm sure you've heard of Ozempic, Wegovy, and the other GLP-1 medications, right? Well, I found this great company called Zelfie. If you qualify, their providers can prescribe medications like Ozempic and Wegovy and other GLP-1 medications that are 80 to 90% less expensive, all 100% online.
I can get GLP-1 medications for 80 to 90% less and do it all online? No doctor's office or pharmacy?
Yes, Zelfie can provide semaglutide or tirzepatide, the active ingredients in Ozempic and other expensive GLP-1s, but for 80 to 90% less and shipped directly to your door.
How do I get started with Zelfie?
Just send them a text.
Text SMILE to 797979 to get started today with Zelfie. Get the same active ingredients in Wegovy or Ozempic, but for 80 to 90% less and 100% online. Don't wait. Text SMILE to 797979 for a link to your exclusive offer. Text SMILE to 797979. That's SMILE to 797979. SMILE to 797979.
Welcome back to the Martin Houston Show, the sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team, on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show with Martin, Xavier, and Simeon on this free-for-all Friday. Still got a lot of conversation to get into, but before we do that, we're going to get Alan in on the hotline. How you doing this morning, Alan?
Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's free-for-all Friday. I have a lot to say, but I'm not going to talk about my beloved Lakers with the player on the team that's been over there since Noah built the ark. But I'm not going to talk about that right now. We're going to go with something else today. What we're going to talk about is this. Tell me, in y'all's opinion, who is the worst quarterback? I would say quarterback. Who is the worst person in the NFL that gets the largest contracts that can't even win in Tecmo Bowl? And he seems to get all these huge contracts and has never won anything.
Hey, Alan. Every time I get a contract, I say, you know what Christian people say when you have the favor of God on your life? Favor ain't fair. That dude is a strong, strong believer from everything I've ever heard. He does a lot of mission work. He does a lot of giving. And I guess, I'm not being ugly toward him. I love him as a person, but I do agree with you that he gets paid and you go, okay. And all I can tell you is, favor ain't fair, and God's hand is on this young man for what he's gonna do post NFL. It is crazy.
Now, hold
on 1 second, AJ. Think about this. He was drafted onto a team after they took a first top pick. Like his career started off by him being
a career backup.
He was the Jalen Hurts.
Career backup.
He was a Jalen Hurts, like except for he was in the same class, and he ends up being the starter. And then he gets that parlayed into a big contract, and then the next big contract, and the next big. So favor ain't fair, man. When guys
Now,
got you,
Alan,
guys got you.
to be fair about the contracts, his contract with Atlanta, the reason he's no longer in Atlanta, because it was really only a 2-year deal. It was a whole lot of money, but they were able to get out of it after 2 years. This contract,
hold on. When he got the deal, it was the deal. They had a buyout. They had the 2-year thing, but that was a legit contract because they didn't know they were going to get Michael Penix when they signed him.
True.
They drafted Michael Penix after making that deal.
Signing. Yeah, but he's in the same boat again this year with the Raiders because it's truly a 1-year contract with a 2-year team option because they're expected to draft Fernando Mendoza.
That's true. That's true. But he's
gonna get paid. It's still 20-something million.
Here's the thing, Alan. If you had a young quarterback that you're investing millions in, who's going to be a franchise guy, let this sink in. Would you want Kirk Cousins mentoring him or somebody like Johnny Manziel? I mean, I'm being extreme.
Now, that's the only reason I could see that they would bring him in there because he's good in the locker room. But he's not. But he's not a winner. He's just good in the locker room. I would go out there and try to find somebody that halfway won something at some level besides Tecmo Bowl, and bring them in.
But what if you bring in those guys, Alan, and they mess up they don't. Remember we were just talking about Alabama football and what these guys bring to the table. We're talking about Mac and Keelan. What if they didn't get along? What if they were enemy combatants in the same locker room? What if one of them character was questionable? What if one of them's work ethic was okay? Let's say that you bring in the what was it, little short guy that played at
Pavia?
Well, Martin,
the other one.
when Martin,
Arizona.
What thing was there?
Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray says he don't study film. Okay, you want somebody. Think about this, Alan. If you were getting ready to transition your business, and you had a professional that was willing to come for 1 year to be the locker room to help your guy transition, and you know that that year really ain't gonna matter if you end up with him playing or the rookie playing. So you buy yourself at least 2 years with Kirk Cousins as a coaching staff. You know why? Because this year you're expecting Kirk to play, but you're like, he's getting Fernando ready. And if Fernando takes his place by the end of the year, like what happened in Atlanta, the next year, what do? He's gone after that. But he has taught him how to be a pro. One of the biggest transitions, Alan, that quarterbacks especially, but all the guys make is how to transition from college to the pros and what it takes. And I think that's why he's getting paid. I really do think his last 2 contracts have been about not just him, but what they were bringing in.
I agree. Okay, let me ask this scenario. We know this is not going to happen, but could you imagine the Raiders taking somebody like the quarterback over there with Vanderbilt and having Cousins trying to mentor him? That would be a total disaster.
Hey,
no, that might be the best thing for him.
It would be
the Las Vegas background would be.
Let me tell you who the Raiders may take with this Cousins pick. Ty?
Nah.
Hey, listen, Alan. They're watching film. And Ty is getting a bye on Alabama's last 4 or 5 games.
Yep.
Okay, let's check this out
And
then.
up through the first 8 games, he was the Heisman front runner.
He sure. Now, if y'all was a general manager, who would y'all take? I want to hear all three of y'all's opinion. Who would y'all take if y'all was a general manager?
I wouldn't take either.
Not with your number one. I wouldn't take either one.
Yeah, not with your number one pick.
Yeah, if I had a top pick, I wouldn't take either one of them. I would wait till next year's draft class because I think next year's class has a little more upside.
And that.
So you gonna let Cousins play 2 years?
Not necessarily.
Maybe. I mean, but
you could.
Because here's the kicker. If Kirk Cousins is bad as you say he is, I can go get me a stalwart, a piece on that defensive side, an Arvell Reese, a Sonny style, some crazy trade back, get some more picks in this class and next class. And if he's as bad as you say, I'm gonna be right back in position for the number 1 pick next year. And I can go get an Arch Manning. I can go get one of those guys.
Now we're talking about somebody like what Dallas did some years back when they got rid of Herschel Walker and got all them picks from Minnesota. So that's feasible. Now that could easily work. But you're still putting the Raiders behind 2 or 3 years because you're looking at putting Cousins out there for 2 years, and the next guy they got to mentor him for 1 year. So 3 years.
Who's the owner? Who's one of the owners for the Raiders?
Al Davis.
Brady.
Tom Brady. Tom Brady. So Tom may be like, hey, man, it's not worth either one of these guys. Let's get us a veteran guy. Because
stink it up for a year.
But how can Brady say that and where his draft pick was at? Because they thought the same thing in him.
Well, because he may know better about how to assess talent than they do.
This is true. I agree with that.
Here's what I tell you, Alan. Mendoza is not as highly sought. I don't think he's as highly sought of today as he was after the championship game.
I don't either.
Went back and watched film.
I don't either.
And he's an RPO guy. He's an RPO guy only. He didn't do a lot of reading of defenses. Go back and look. He raised up and threw the ball. Now, he was precise, and he executed to perfection, and he has a heart like a lion. But did he really read defenses? I don't know.
And also look at the players around him, too. I mean, he also has some very disciplined players around him. Like you said, those players were older players. I mean, they were been in the system for so long that they knew what to do. So that makes a lot of difference.
Yep. All right, thanks, Alan.
All right.
Hey, when you know what to do, guys, it makes you a step faster when you don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is.
Anything else? Now that's a free-for-all topic. Anything you guys got before we get to break?
Nah.
All right, we'll be back on the other side to wrap up. We'll be back on the other side to wrap up this edition of the Martin Houston Show with Martin, Xavier, and Simeon.
Here's what's trending on the Tuscaloosa thread.
Good Friday morning. Here's one of the top stories we're following for you this hour, brought to you by Spiller Furniture and Mattress. There is a marginal 1 in 5 risk for strong to severe thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon and to early Sunday morning, basically west of the line from Jasper to Tuscaloosa to Demopolis. Damaging winds to 60 miles per hour and quarter-size hail are possible. But the Alabama Weather Network's James Spenn tells us it should not be a significant severe weather outbreak. Click TuscaloosaThread.com for more West Alabama news, sports, and weather coverage. I'm Don Hartley.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. It's a nice and peaceful Good Friday starting out. And FYI, there will be no added lane closures for road work this weekend unless it is an emergency. Otherwise, we're traveling nice and smooth on 2059 between 359 and Joe Malisham. And same thing with Lurleen Wallace. That is all wide open and between 5th and McFarland and even beyond. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, Tammy Thomas.
This report is sponsored by the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation.
More for your budget at Townsend Nissan. Rogue Platinum, $288 a month. Sentra, $199 a month. And take $5,000 off a new Nissan Frontier. Townsend Nissan, your family in the car business.
The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more about research, education, and support at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org.
Think you've got what it takes? The Tuscaloosa Gauntlet is back. April 17th and 18th at Sokol Park. 5 miles, 20 plus obstacles, and a marine regulation O course unlike anything else in the South. Whether you're a seasoned racer or a first timer, this challenge is worth celebrating. Kids Race and Family Fest Friday, April 17th. Register now at TuscaloosaGauntlet.com and race for a cause. All proceeds benefit the Alabama Marines Foundation. The Tuscaloosa Gauntlet. Are you up for the challenge?
What does it mean to advertise and do your marketing with Town Square Media Tuscaloosa? Melissa started her business in 2014. What would you say to someone considering Town Square Media Tuscaloosa?
My experience with Town Square Media has been awesome, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone. I think that this is the first time in my marketing experience that I've been able to see my return on investment. I would definitely say in the past that has not been the case. In this, I like knowing that that's 100%. A lot of the marketing we've done has been radio. You guys have so much more to offer than that, whether it's, websites, from targeted marketing to radio. You are kind of a one-stop shop, and it makes doing marketing so much easier. So I would definitely recommend it.
For more info on marketing with Town Square Media Tuscaloosa, call 205-345-7200 or click on Advertise with Us on our website.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-319-3687. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-319-3687. 800-319-3687. 800-319-3687.
It's time for the Martin Houston Show. With the same hard-hitting, no-nonsense approach in which he played the game, Martin will take you inside the locker room, down on the field, and across the goal line with his in-depth analysis.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show. Martin, Xavier, and Simeon on this Good Friday, Free for All Friday. We're gonna close. I'm gonna close with just it'll be kind of our outro for the day. It's Friday, but Sunday's coming by. I said E.V. Hill, but it's S.M. Lockridge that did it. It's one of my favorite things to play on a Good Friday. Also, if you're listening on the live stream chat, I'm gonna hang around for a few minutes and do a little Houston Huddle OT this morning because we got some questions we're not getting addressed, guys. Questions about this is DeBoer's team, about the Indiana, about the recruit to your system. Somebody said that DeBoer got his hands on them. Guys, DeBoer was a guy who won at Fresno against better competition, a guy who won at Indiana offensively against better competition, a guy who took a bunch of 3 and 4 stars to the national championship game against a Michigan team that it proved what? That they cheated and stole signs. So so he's proven he can develop talent. So I don't know. We'll talk about that on the other side. We're gonna get really quick. We're gonna get Chuck Hunt in on this Free for All Friday. Chuck, you're in. What's up, man?
Yeah, I'm gonna be quick, and a good Friday to you all. It's 40 days of Lent winding down to the into the Houston family. I wish you a happy Easter. But my reason for calling: congratulations to you all for landing Pauline Love as your new head women's basketball coach. And I've become acquainted with her, and I wish the best for her. And you just talking about Caitlin DeBoer and something you're gonna have. You'll be there with Caitlin DeBoer. She'll be there to witness, see if things will come together. She's back in at Alabama. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. And I also wonder if Nate Oates is going to stick around. And it's going to be a wait and see situation. And I want to see what you said in the NFL. I want to see how Fernando Mendoza and Ty Simpson and all these people are going to work out in the NFL. And also, I want to see how Tua is going to look in another uniform being there in Atlanta. That'd be my landing gear. You all have a happy Easter.
Yeah, thank you. And he hit several of the topics we'll hit on the other side, but we do as an Alabama sports talk station. We knew Chuck was going to call back in because he had called, and we told him to call back in on Free for All Friday, or we told him to call back in later in the weekend on a Free for All Friday. We worked that in. Congratulations, Coach Love. Welcome to the capstone. Wishing you nothing but the best. And guys, if you go back and look at the recruiter who got the 4 and 5 stars at her prior programs, she was always connected.
Yep.
So if she can raise the talent level, and she was part of Coach's staff 2 years ago, we could see it take the next level. Also, Izzo talking to it's kind of hard to believe, but a couple of NBA teams have come out to Izzo. I think that's
Izzo?
Yep, that's the rumor, and he said one of them he talked too seriously about it. I think it was Phoenix, or I can't remember which one it was, but
well,
I think that's the one place we could lose Oates to. I don't think he'll go anywhere else. I think it'd be hard to turn that one down. But anyway, guys, we got a big scrimmage coming up today.
Yeah, and when we're
Go ahead.
talking about the scrimmage, you just want to continue to see steady growth at this point of spring ball. You want to see players take the next step. You want to see consistency in executing the playbook and the schemes and the systems that are in place.
Yeah, I mean, A-Day is next Saturday, so getting ready to showcase their talents to 100,000 people. But for this scrimmage today, I'm just looking forward to seeing the quarterbacks play, the offense gel, them trust the offensive line better, but also the defensive line. I want them to gel together. I know London Simmons is out, but everybody that's not out, I want them to set that tone that Coach DeBoer and Coach Womack have been teaching them. So,
Did Keelan Russell run out the first offense, the first drive, and throw a touchdown on his first pass last week?
Did he?
Was he the pass to Ryan Williams? Was that not the first pass of the scrimmage?
I don't know when it was.
Yeah, I've heard it. Well, that's the part I don't know for sure. But if he runs out first today, does that mean he's taking the lead?
No.
Did he run out first last week?
I thought they said he did. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I
I
don't
wasn't
know.
there, and I did not verify.
I think that tells a lot.
Whoever runs out first, I mean, I don't know.
I don't think they're gonna. I don't think it matters. I think they're gonna do back and forth. Here's the question I have, guys. Go back, challenge maniacs. Go back and look at DeBoer at Indiana, Fresno State, and Washington, and see what element of his offense that you have not seen at Alabama. I think it's the RPO game. And if these two can incorporate that, does that help our running game? I think that's what Indiana did better than everybody. I think you couldn't be right defensively against them because they had a committed run blocking scheme and receivers committed to run blocking, and they used the RPO game if you were backed off. Do we see that element added to Alabama today?
Yeah,
I hope so. It makes us better.
Absolutely. Now they can't go too far on the other side though, and not hand it off to the running backs every once in a while.
That's true. You have to have a commitment to the run game, but remember, Indiana didn't look like they were committed to the run game
until
through the first 2.5 quarters. But at the end, think about this. What happens when you do an RPO pass?
Everybody freezes.
No, everybody runs to make the tackle because if you don't, if you throw it out to the wide receiver and he beats him, he's gone. So everybody on the team has to do what? Sprint to the ball. Make them do that early and often. And most of the time, if you guess right on an RPO, what do you get? 4 to 5 yards.
Yeah.
Then you come back and do what? Ask Alabama. Go back and watch Indiana without what they did in the playoffs. They would run teams to death, chasing the passes. Then their run game would take over.
Yeah.
Can we have a little Indiana in Tuscaloosa? Hey, guys, it's a good Friday. Y'all got any closing thoughts?
Great week. Great talking Bama sports with everybody as always. Remember that this is the day that is celebrated for that Jesus laid down his life for us, and we're grateful and thankful that he rose on the third day.
Yep, absolutely. It's Good Friday, but Sunday's coming.
Amen. With that said, trust in the Lord always, lean not your own understanding, and always acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. Roll Tide, everybody.
Coming. It's Friday. Pilate's struggling. The council is conspiring. The crowd is vilifying. They don't even know that Sunday's coming. It's Friday. The disciples are running.
Thank you for listening to the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
That Sundays are coming. It's Friday. The Romans beat my Jesus. They robe him in scarlet. They crown him with thorns. But they don't know that Sunday's coming. It's Friday. See Jesus walking to Calvary. His blood dripping. His body stumbling. And his spirit's burdened. But you see, it's only Friday. Sunday's coming. It's Friday. The world's winning. People are sinning. And evil's grinning. It's Friday. The soldiers nailed my Savior's hands to the cross. They nailed my Savior's feet to the cross. And then they raised him up next to criminals. It's Friday. But let me tell you something. Sunday's coming. It's Friday. The disciples are questioning what has happened to their king. And the Pharisees are celebrating that their scheming has been achieved. But they don't know it's only Friday. Sunday's coming. It's Friday. He's hanging on the cross, feeling forsaken by his Father, left alone and dying. Can nobody save him? Oh, it's Friday, but Sunday's coming. It's Friday. The earth trembles. The sky grows dark. My King yields his spirit. It's Friday. Hope is lost. Death has won. Sin has conquered. And Satan's just a laughing. It's Friday. Jesus is buried. A soldier stands guard, and a rock is rolled into place. But it's Friday. It is only Friday. Sunday is a coming.
Amen. Friday. It's Friday, but Sunday is coming. Welcome back in. Let me get this ready. All right. Guys, Simeon, I think you're going to. All right. All right. Thank y'all, those of you who stuck around for a little OT here. It's Simeon and I. We're glad to give you a little Houston Huddle OT this morning. Man, Simeon, they said I was poking you earlier, but anyway, let's look at some of the comments. Great interaction this morning. We weren't able to get to everything, so we'll circle back on a couple of these comments and we just take them as they go. This really is about not something that I wanted to talk about. It's just about what you guys had said in the chat. P. Fields said, hopefully they clean up the locker room, definitely improves coaching. So, Simeon, I mean, right now, I don't think that there was a bad locker room last year from when I've talked to people. It was a good culture, but it could be better. Is that what you think he was also addressing when he said, we got better and we didn't overpay?
Yeah, I mean, when you say that, you're meaning it in several different instances. And like you said, it wasn't a bad locker room. It wasn't necessarily a toxic locker room. I think the guys last year liked each other and had good chemistry, but like you said, there's always a next step in improvement. And if the guys that come in maybe just fit more of the system, I mean, if you're not an outlier, no matter how much you love your teammates and whatever, if you're an outlier in the system, you're still not going to fit as well as you can. And the guys that were brought in are great fits, but they're also great locker room guys as well.
Yeah, we didn't ask this question, but guys, look at the guys who left. Look at the guys who DeBoer brought in, and you can go back. You can go back every year for the first 2 years. Let's talk about it. For the first 2 years, did Alabama bring in better players than they lost in year one and year two? Right? Like the guys he brought in, the best players on the team. In the top 10, if you were to take the top 10 players on the team, it was who? Guys in that mix was Brailsford, Cuevas, and Sapp. Huh?
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about just for guy and Bernard.
And Bernard from the portal, talking about portal guys.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody gives Saban credit for Ron Williams. DeBoer had to recruit him back.
Like he decommitted.
Yep, and he had to recruit him back. Now, was that a hard recruit? I don't know. But you know, P. Fields said the proof will be in the pudding right now. That's Tim Coggins. Right now, it's just milk and powder.
That's a good one.
He also said we're wearing crimson colored glasses, but that's always the case, right? We're just used to having more big names, I guess, in terms of more proven names and things like that.
We just realized that a lot of these guys weren't proven at all, but we just trusted Saban. Like Reuben Foster wasn't proven
That's a good point.
because I always saw that Reuben Foster would
Yeah.
just go down on kickoff.
We
But
knew
that's
he was a
not.
hitter.
But what does that mean? Because if you lead with your helmet, any good running back is just gonna move out the way because you can't see if you're. And so but there's a plethora of, especially defensive guys that we were like, oh my goodness, they're the next coming, but we really don't. We really don't have that much of a. They weren't any more proven than any of the guys that are on the team now. We just had more trust in Saban.
In Saban, we trusted. Q Dixon said, yes, Saban's recruiting was slipping. This coaching staff eval was not like, I think he was talking about his coaching staff instead of this coaching staff, was not like it used to be. Meaning that not only was Saban struggling, that was Q Dixon, and P. Fields added to that. He said, I think it was difficult for Saban to secure top talent with so many rumors of him retiring. I think that was a factor. Also, the coaching attrition every year had a huge impact. And I think that both of those kind of build on themselves, Simeon. I do think that I don't think Saban personally was slipping. I think if Saban got in a kid's home and they were interested in Alabama, he closed them. So we still got guys. I don't think we got as many guys, right?
Yeah, but that was also like with the times too. That was going to happen regardless of if Saban was 50 or was 73, just because of NIL and all that stuff. But maybe, I think it's pretty clear to say that Saban left because for those said reasons.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he necessarily, if NIL wasn't a thing, I'm not sure Saban would have retired.
Yeah,
at that point.
I'm not sure you would have either. And the other part is P. Phil said, I think it was difficult, but it wasn't just his coaching him, it was his coaching staff. And anybody that argues that Saban's last few coaching staffs, his last couple of years, you would take probably any other staff he had except for his first year over his last couple of staffs.
But his first couple staffs ended up having some good coaches on it, right?
Well, but that first, I'm just talking about the first.
You're talking about the very,
staff.
very first.
Very, very first, the 2007 staff. Yeah, Applewhite was his offensive coordinator.
Isn't Applewhite a head coach now?
Yeah, he is in Alabama, isn't he?
Alabama?
He was at South Alabama. I don't know where he's at now. I think, didn't he take Womack's place? I don't keep up with it.
I think so.
Keep up with it. Jacob Powell said that you recruit the guys you want in your system. And are we in year 3? Are we finally there? That there's some guys on the staff that are more built offensively and defensively. Even the quarterback position, guys. Let's be real. I love Jalen Milroe. But Jalen Milroe does not match anything DeBoer has coached or Grubb has coached in the past.
Never.
But we don't win a championship, I don't think, that year without Jalen Milroe. I don't think we win. I'm sorry. Jalen won a championship under Saban. I said that wrong. And I think if there was a better option than Jalen in year 1, Ty Simpson would have been the quarterback.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he wasn't.
But he wasn't. So I do think that you saw in that scenario, he had to adjust, and Nick Sheridan did a good job. Now, I know this, guys. This is not hearsay. This is not, I wonder. I know that Jalen Milroe was resistant to them catering the offense to his strengths. Let that sink in for a second. He did not embrace being the dual threat quarterback. What do you do in that scenario? That tells you where Ty was his first year, I think.
That he wasn't even close.
So in year one, then next year you have Ty come in, Simeon, and so the question becomes: Ty still, even though Ty ran the offense well, it still doesn't look like. I'm telling you, go back and watch Michael Penix operate in this thing, even at Indiana. And Michael Penix, by the time he got to Washington, he was a third and fourth year guy in this system.
Yeah.
2 years at Indiana, 2 years at Washington. Okay. Austin Mack is a 4-year guy in the system. The question is, which system is it? Is it the system he watched Michael Penix play in the first, in his first year? Or is it the system we watched the last 2 years? And that system had a run game. And that was against a different style defense, but it still was a run game.
Yeah. That's an interesting thought. I mean, I don't know. Which you would bet that Austin Mack would get the job based off of what you just said. But I don't know. I don't think it's as simple as that anymore. Because it's usually just the more experienced guy. But I think with how good everybody's saying Keelan Russell is, it doesn't really matter that Austin Mack. I don't know. That just feels weird to me. That why did he stay? Does that make sense? If he was gonna have to be in a battle with a guy that has he hadn't even been on campus for he's been on campus for a year. And I'm in a QB battle with the guy, and I've been in the system for 4 years.
Because he believes in himself, and he also believes that with the overall offense plus the RPO game that they have, that he can. I know I dog for having an RPO, but I think Grubb and DeBoer's offense also has a read structure to it, developed, maybe more developed than what we saw with Indiana. I don't know that, but because I do know that because we saw Ty operate in it, last year, and just think how many times Ty could have, if he could have got to that fourth read, but because he didn't get to it because of the lack of pass pro, you didn't see that fourth route coming open sometimes. So, but I think Keelan just has confidence, and I also think Keelan realizes his talent can still make it to the league. I just think I think that's the way he thinks.
I just don't think, in my opinion, I think neither of those guys are here in 2 years. I think Austin Mack has to, if he wins the job, he has to go pro after this year.
Oh, yeah.
He has to go pro, and then I don't think Keelan is staying after. Keelan will be a redshirt sophomore, and I don't think Keelan would stay for 2 years. Which he probably would. I don't know, probably. He might, but I could see both of those guys being gone in this year and the next.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think in 2028, we could have our fifth quarterback in 5 years. I think Jalen, Ty, Matt, Matt, Keelan.
Yeah.
Literally, you could have.
Yeah.
That's crazy, but I think that's where we're headed.
Yeah. That's my thing. It's like that's why I'm just like so confident. One, I really like Mac, and that's not there's no doubt about that. But that's why I'm like there's no way he's not the starter.
Yeah.
There's no way.
I think he's listen, when you listen to the coaches talk, a lot of times they always include both guys. I mean, now is that just coach speech, or is that both of these guys performing? And because the guys have so much access to media, if one of these the players know, okay, the players know. So if a coach keep going on there talking about this guy making all the throws, and one guy's making all the throws and the other guy isn't, they're gonna be like,
I'm just surprised stuff like that doesn't get out more. Cause like I'm not trying to be funny. The players know now who's probably the starting quarter. Like they have a pretty good guess on who's the starting quarterback right now. Alabama.
Unless they're neck and neck, and that's what I keep hearing. I'm telling you, I've heard that we have two gunslingers that just execute this offense at a crazy level. I've heard that there's nothing that has happened to this point to put one clearly as a starter.
They know. You would, as a football player, there's no way.
The best quarterback on our team was Danny Woodson.
Well,
until we went live. And he was still the best quarterback. He got kicked off the team.
Well, but that's not going to be.
He wasn't starting.
But you knew those two guys. That's not an issue for those two guys.
Right? I mean,
interesting. I don't think we have to worry about.
I don't think that's.
Russell getting kicked off the team. What did P. Phil say?
Hold on 1 second. I have one more coming. Then I'm gonna get to P. Phil's conversation. Let me see. It was one more question I wanted to get to. I wanted P. Phil did ask about live streaming at the scrimmage during open period. I don't know that I guess
I don't know if
I mean
wants that.
they can take video. You can take videos, so I don't ever go to practice, but I know that the A club can go to the scrimmage today, and it's clear. No videos, no photos. No, it's pretty detailed about what you can't do. So I know that if I were to make it to the scrimmage, I wouldn't have the ability to do any of that. So, but let's get to those last couple of questions. Corey Lewis said this coaching staff, they do have a body type that they're looking for to fit their system on the defensive and offensive side. Yes, they do. And it's like they're getting those guys, Simeon, and we've talked a good bit about that. We believe, man, football is still won in the trenches, no matter how much it changes. And if Alabama's defense was as dominant and as good as it was last year, and they had the glaring undersized defensive lineman, now that you look back in hindsight, compared to what they brought in, and this defense takes another step, and then this offense,
Which we're all expecting it to take another step.
Right, but especially with the back end being older and more mature, and now you being able to play some base and have those guys run around to stop the pass and helping out on run support, you have to ask yourself, if this O-line upgrades, if this O-line was an upgrade, and the quarterback, even if he may not be as good initially, but he can execute the offense better, does that make Grubb a better offensive coordinator? Because he can run more of his playbook. Is this team potentially going to be a surprise and better than people expect?
Yeah, I think
I mean,
so.
where are we right now not anticipating being better at?
Only place that I could think of is tight end, but I think maybe just because of how good he was. But I think Caleb Edwards has a higher upside than Cuevas anyway. So I think if he reaches that, then he's better.
What if I told you this? I need to go back and look at it. What if what's his name likes 12 personnel more than what we were able to run it?
Or Grubb?
Grubb and DeBoer likes two tight ends because it gives you two C gaps and it spreads these defenses out. But you have to have two guys that can do it. You have to have two tight ends that can do the blocking at that level. And what if they had planned all year to have that out of Lewis and he never was healthy? It totally changes your run game. It totally changes all of that. Right?
Yeah. And
So what if
unfortunately, he's not
DeBoer
healthy
likes
again
12?
this year.
Huh?
I said, unfortunately, he's not available this year either, I don't think.
Right. But they have a lot more guys that can play and could be at that Cuevas blocking level or better. And so if they add that to the offense, does that also – because when you spread guys out from a 5 lineman to 6 linemen and then a 7th lineman and having just 3 wides, think about that. All of a sudden, your wideouts is Rodgers, Williams, and Brooks. That's 3 pretty good wide receivers if you got 2 tight ends that can block and play. So all of a sudden you have a different structure, and it just opens up the run game even more.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna go back and look at it, Simeon, see if I can find from his Indiana or Washington days if he ran some 2 tight end sets.
Yeah. I mean, and like as a running back, that gives you 2 additional gaps, but also that, you can actually stretch a play and cut back. Like that gives you so much more to play with in the vision if they're a good blocking team.
Think about this. Front side, you got a tight end. Now the tackle has to either spread out or you have to bring somebody else into the box. And you created a gap for somebody to block that C gap and the D gap. So it could be. I have to go back and do some recon and research before I go all in on that. But I think that's a possibility. P. Fields said Austin Mack, and we'll close on this. Austin Mack starts the season only if he struggles. DeBoer gives Keelan a shot. Your thoughts?
I would tend to agree, but then I disagree with that because what he let Ty do this past year let me know that maybe they just like to go down with the ship. If they got a guy, they got a guy. But Keelan, I haven't really seen Keelan play. I haven't really seen either of them play, really. So if it's that close, which I remember it being quote unquote close last year too. Because wasn't it close last year supposedly?
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't it neck and neck? And wasn't it? And they were just balling out. Well, obviously,
I don't think you're gonna know the starter till Florida State or beyond. I think
Eastern
Austin.
Carolina. You don't even think the first game of the season?
I think you'll have a starter, but I don't think the competition. Do you remember Phil Sims and AJ
Philip
McCarron?
Sims and
AJ
yeah,
McCarron.
yeah.
It was a battle until it wasn't, and AJ never looked back after the Penn State game. They went into the Penn State game expecting both of them to play, and it didn't work out that way, and AJ never looked back. And Phil Sims was reported one of the most talented kids Nick Saban ever recruited at the quarterback position.
Wasn't that the same thing with who was it? Star Jackson?
Yeah, Star Jackson didn't play either, right?
Yeah.
So that's the key there. But I think both of them play early. I just don't think you can. I don't think you can when you have two guys that talented. I don't think you can. You can pick a starter, but I don't think you can make the guy bona fide depth second team guy without seeing live ammunition with it being their team. I just don't. And I think we could see this being someone like the Bryce Young, where everybody just assumed Bryce Young is going to be the guy, and Max said, not so fast. Max said, whoa.
Yeah.
Max said, I got something to say about this. It's almost the same situation.
Yeah.
The guy Mac got a whole start against Auburn, but the heir apparent was his backup, and he never got out there on the field. I don't know.
Funny.
It's
that's
similar.
funny. That's funny to think about it though. That like Bryce Young was Mac's backup. He's so good. Why is he his backup? Like why is he a backup? But that's the same type of situation. He's like Keelan Russell's so good. Why is he his backup? And then you see what Mac does, and you're like, oh.
Yeah. Yep. Last question, Simeon from P. Field says, if they are a coin toss, he asked me the question, but I'll ask you, Jalen and Tua. Hey, and hold on. Let's answer the question, and we'll do the Jalen thing. If there's a coin toss, he asked me, who do I start? I'm starting Austin. I'm starting the older guy. I mean, I'm just if it's a coin toss, they're neck and neck. I'm starting Matt. What about you?
I mean, I'm starting Austin Mack. At least
you start Matt regardless, aren't you?
Unless there's some stuff that comes out and says that Keelan Russell is just so far better than.
Do you think one of these guys win the job or one of these guys lose the job?
I think they have to win it. I don't think either one of them will lose it.
And that's why it's a coin toss. It's because you got two winners.
Yeah, I think either Austin Mack. It might see, and the thing is, A-Day, like I think A-Day might have got to tell Coach DeBoer, like, hey, whatever happens in A-Day, it might not be what you think in-house, but the fans are going to take it and run with it. So if Keelan lights it up and Mac doesn't necessarily not light it up, but doesn't have 3 touchdown passes, it's over. Like, just to the fans point of view.
We have to be careful giving the guy the starting job based on stats.
Yeah.
Because you don't ever know. I used to tell people with the whole Jalen and Tua thing, in the scrimmages when they went one on two, maybe Tua was lighting. I mean, Jalen was lighting up the twos or whatever. But when they went best on best, Jalen was better. I don't know that, but the Jalen and Tua thing is interesting, just like the Mac. And have you noticed that the heir apparent that was going to be the best version never won a championship at Alabama? Tua did not win a national championship. Tua won a game. And I know people don't like to hear that, but if you go back and look at the statistics, it doesn't say Tua Tagovailoa won a national championship at Alabama. Now, do we win it without Tua? No, probably not. Maybe not. But it wasn't like we were getting blown out at halftime.
It was 10-0. Like,
Yeah, but the move, it was the right move. I don't disagree with that. But my point is, Jalen needed to go, and Tua was supposed to be great, right? And Tua had the worst loss in the Saban era, I think.
Yeah. Well, look, if
and
he
doesn't get
add,
there,
yeah.
and they don't get to. Do they even get to that without Jalen?
People don't remember that. He won the SEC championship game.
Crazy, right? And then Bryce is the heir apparent, the best ever Heisman winner, but no national championship.
Okay, but to be fair, I don't think that one was. I'm not going to blame. Okay, the Tua and Bryce one for me, I'm taking Bryce a billion times over Tua, not even close to me. But I'm not going to lie. Tua lost us. Or he got baited really bad. He got shown really bad in the national championship game.
It was bad.
Bryce, I'm blaming Bill O'Brien 100 times.
I'm blaming who was the wide receiver coach. That's who I'm blaming. That you had all of that talent and you had all those blowout games and you didn't have backup wide receivers ready to play.
Yeah.
I mean, how is it possible?
And you can blame two. I'm not trying to be funny. 2 ACLs tearing like that.
Right.
That's crazy.
And the fact that the guys behind them didn't have reps when you've been beating teams all year. Those guys should have been ready to play. I mean, yeah. So.
Yeah. Bryce is my favorite quarterback at Alabama.
Yeah.
Outside of Austin.
Hey, real quick, Simeon, closing thoughts on that. We had a lot of reaction to the Kirk Cousins comments that was given to us by Alan earlier on the Martin Houston show. Some guys think that Tua was a scapegoat. Tim Coughlin said Miami made Tua the scapegoat for a lot of bad decisions. He would come back strong with the Falcons this season. Corey Lewis said he was going to be starting, but then he said, that's good because I'm actually he said, sorry, I'm a Dolphins fan anyway, so good luck. He said the hip is hurting him. I'm
surprised Tua is still playing. I'm not with his body just breaking down. I mean, he's had an injury every year for the past several seasons, and then the concussions have just been nasty. I don't.
If I was in Tua's camp, the only thing I'd have him work in the offseason other than throwing the ball?
Neck strength?
Neck muscles. Because that's not a fluke. Tua's neck, he has to have one of the weakest necks ever because his head, when he gets tackled, just boom. I mean, it's just your body naturally reacts to protect itself some. His tackles, when he gets thrown back, it's like just boom.
Ragdoll.
Yeah.
I think he might go limp. I'm not trying to be funny. It almost looks like when he gets spun around, his body he just goes limp. And so when a guy that NFL linebacker, when they slam you on the ground,
But Simeon, your body instinctively protects itself to its ability. You don't consciously you don't consciously say, "Hey, shrink." It's just instinct, and if your muscles are strong enough, it can support that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and your head might hit, but it might not. It won't
Your
rattle your
head,
brain.
your head hits, but it hits like this versus that.
Yeah.
Like his head is slamming to the ground versus his body hitting the ground. I mean,
Yeah.
his head would hit the ground. Sometimes it looked like before his body would, because it was
Yeah.
just and so violent. Um, I, but Atlanta, to me, they got one quarterback with both of these guys. They both are injury prone, and
Both lefties,
it'll,
both.
huh?
I said both lefties. But I mean, I
They both injury prone too. So
yeah, it's almost the
So
same
maybe
quarterback.
between the two of them, they'll get, 17, 18 playoff games. I mean, we'll see. All right, closing thoughts, man.
No, good OT time. Good time just to talk on Good Friday. Just remember why Jesus came and why he died for our sins, and remember to live out the way that the Lord has commanded us to.
That's right. It's Good Friday. Friday looked like defeat. Saturday looked like surrender. Sunday looked like victory. In regards to where you're at, you may be on a Good Friday where things aren't going the way you wanted, expected them to, and all those who are close to you have booked, ran, and gone. But remember this, you're not alone, because God is working. While Jesus was in the grave, it wasn't silence in heaven. He went down to hell, he descended, he conquered death, hell, and the grave. And on Sunday morning, he rose again so that you and I would have a choice of whether we would receive the victory that he had won. He said, "It is finished," not "he was finished." And it is finished as far as sin having dominion over your life, but it's up to you whether you receive it and accept it today. Uh, for those of you who are listening right now live, or hear this before April 5th, we say happy Resurrection Sunday from the Houston Huddle and the Martin Houston Show. Roll Tide. We'll talk to you